he started forgetting how many times he had been arrested. But you know the system. Once it gets a grip in, it starts tripping, it does everything within its limits to keep you in it. See, here's a little bit of wisdom. Law enforcement likes to target minority men and women and send them off to prison. So often it becomes accepted as a normal condition of daily living. And the affluent critics who've never been arrested, they judge it from a distance and blame minorities as if going to prison is something that we invented. Now I say we because even though I'm light-skinned, I'm actually Puerto Rican. And I used to get pulled over almost every other weekend when I drove my stereotypical Honda Civic. But I almost never saw a cop car when I drove a Dodge Intrepid. Marinate on that shit for a second. See, America's obsession with skin pigment is ignorance. In Puerto Rico, skin color is not even a topic of discussion. We don't really sweat it. But in America, especially in the South, its emphasis and its relevance has to be respected. Now, I can see some of you thinking, here he goes with this shit. I don't want to hear it. But you know what? Pay attention. I'm going to give you a really fucked up statistic. And I'm going to pause when I say this just to let it sink in. So listen. Not even counting the women. Today in America, there are more black men in prison than there were black people in slavery at the peak of its existence. It's a true statistic. And you can blame politicians for their current social conditions, but it's corporations who've taken the rehabilitative system of American citizens and changed it into a business. See, they lobby politicians into shifting their political positions and creating laws that make it easier for you and me to get arrested and create repeat offenders. See, this is how they generate business. And they don't care if prisoners are living in inhumane conditions. Because once you cage people like animals, they're liable to start flipping, go ballistic, do things to get the prison sentences extended. Now, have you ever heard the term, who watches the watchman? Has anybody ever heard that once? Can you tell me?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, let me ask you, who prosecutes a prosecutor when they break the law? You want to know who? Nobody. Look that up. See, prosecutors don't care if you're innocent. If they see that your case is twisted and there's no evidence to support it, they're supposed to set you free. But first, they're going to see if they can scare you to agree to a plea for a fee because that's business. See, all they care about is getting that conviction, improving their win-loss records, creating more felons, and feeding them back into this modern-day legal system of oppression. And they don't care how they go about to get it, but they will look for the path of least resistance. So if you have the money for a lawyer and you can afford to make your case expensive, well then you have protection. But if all you can afford is a public defender, then it's evident the defendant is almost certainly getting sentenced. See, this is how the government exploits poor people and uses poverty to generate business. Right? Now, America is less than 5% of the world population. We are less than 5% of the planet. But we have almost 24% of the world's prisoners. Right? We have more of our own citizens inside our legal system than China. And China's population is well over 1 billion. Think about that for a minute. This legal system is not about justice. It's about making money for corporations, special interest groups, and politicians. Because let's be honest, if you go to jail and you pay your bail and the prosecution fails to get that conviction, they should give you back all that money that you paid with interest and a little note that says sorry for the inconvenience.